Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Stop Shitting on Yourself. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Jamie. Girl, this week, I was on TikTok and I was just binge watching
Okay.
videos on my feed. And I've been seeing a lot of different videos about this one filter. It's like blue and red, and the red one shows like your feminine side, the blue shows your masculine side. And there's this one, I guess, like audio that was kind of trending, and it said, if you do not like how you look like with the blue filter on, then you need to lower your standards.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that, but now I'm kind of curious. So
So
the blue is your masculine
masculine
side?
side.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I guess, the video is catered towards women to see if they would actually date themselves using the blue filter. And the whole audio was like, if you wouldn't date yourself, you got to lower your standards. And then that made me think like, wait, would I actually date myself? You
Hmm.
know? So I wanted to throw that question to you because you know yourself best. And would you date yourself, Jessica?
Uh, as much as I would like to say like yes, because I want to like
Uh-huh.
hype myself up and stuff, I don't actually think I would.
Really?
Um, yeah, I don't think so. Like, okay, so we've talked about this in a previous podcast before. So I'm a
Okay.
Taurus. And
Yes.
I feel like, and I don't read up on horoscopes very often, so I don't know like too much about like compatibility and whatever, but just
Uh-huh.
knowing how people typically describe Tauruses and like the Taurus trait, I am pretty much to the T of a Taurus. Like I'm very stubborn. I don't
Wow.
like changes. I'm like not super flexible. That just seems terrible actually.
That's a lot of
Uh,
like negative traits. Do you have any good traits, Jessica? I'm sure you do, right?
I'm sure I have great traits. No, I think like we're very reliable, we're very grounded, we're like very like
Okay.
patient and practical. Like we're a
Yeah.
very stable sign. So we value
Interesting.
like consistency of things and like rules and things like that. But there's
Okay.
also like a lot about us that a lot of it is just like when we don't like it when people like test rules, we don't like it when things like change up, suddenly. Um, and I
Oh,
think most of all, we're very, very stubborn. And
I see.
I am very stubborn. I
Mm.
know that about
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like if I dated another one of me, we would just never come to a conclusion for anything because like I will hear your opinion. I've learned that
Yeah.
as an adult now that I need to hear other people's opinion,
Yeah.
but it takes way too much for me to budge. So I feel like if I disagreed with myself,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
it would be a never ending thing.
Like you two would never just speak to each other and that would just be the end of it.
Yeah, that would just be that, I
Wow.
think. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you know like right away because I was thinking like, yeah, I would date myself. But then I actually really thought about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't know because I feel like I would just because I'm like, you know what? Like I've had conversations like this with my other friends too,
Mhm.
where we talk about relationship issues and we're like, well, why can't our partners be like A, B, C, and D?
Yeah.
And then I've had the conversation of, man, maybe I should just date myself. So you know how Beyonce says, like, if I was a boy,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And she goes through the whole entire perspective of that song. I'm like, I could totally do that. Like, if I was a man and I
Mhm.
still had my same personality traits, would I be attracted to it? I think so.
Oh,
I
you think
think
so?
so. Yeah, I'm kind of tooting my own horn, but like, I think so. But at the same time, would I date them and would it be good for me?
Oh, I guess that is a whole other thing because you know how people are like opposites attract, but
Uh-huh.
is that like a good thing, you know? Is it like opposites attracts and then like if you're what happens if you're like the same? Do you
Like if you're
detract?
right, like if you're too similar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I thought about it. I was like, I actually don't know now. Like I'm always like, yeah, because I'm a Scorpio. Okay, so I'm a Scorpio, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I'm very, apparently Scorpios are very passionate.
Mm.
I thought I was a fire sign, but apparently, according to a website, I'm a water sign, which is kind of
Oh.
insane,
That's
right? I
interesting.
think,
I would have never thought you were a water sign. I don't again, don't really know much about the signs, but based off of
okay,
like elements, you know?
yeah, I had no idea, but then again, like water is, it's ruthless. So
Oh, true, true.
Hey,
Waves
right?
and storms and stuff.
Storms and floods, and like you
Yeah.
can't control shit in the water.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah,
drown and
true.
shit, you know.
Oh
With
my
me, I
God,
can
okay.
drown you, motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So from what I remember, Scorpios are really passionate, right?
Mhm.
They are loyal, so they're like a really fucking good friend. Okay, we're gonna be true to you. We're ride and die. We're ride and die, bitch. Right.
Okay.
Um, and then I think like another one was whenever people talk about Scorpios, they always talk about their sexuality, like about how
Oh,
they're very like sexually attractive and just like all that kind of stuff. I'm like,
damn
all
girl.
right, okay. I was like, all right, okay, cool, I'll take that.
Mhm.
But they also are, because they're so passionate too, um, and they are very honest, they are very loyal, they expect
Mhm.
the same back from other people, even
Mm.
though in reality you don't get the same back. You can't expect people to treat you the same way that you
Right,
treat them,
right.
even though that is the golden rule of life, right?
Yes.
Right. And therefore I think that also causes a lot of like distrust in a Scorpio, and so we are kind of very cautious um
Um,
with people. Yeah, so even if we are even if we seem like a good friend, we are very cautious about trusting people initially. It takes time to like
mm.
earn our trust. And I think once like you do earn our trust, we're ride and die.
Mm. You know what? I feel like I've definitely read that Tauruses and Scorpios are really good matches, or they're very
Oh,
compatible. I think for
okay.
that very reason, like I think Tauruses are also like if you make a friend with a Taurus, they are
Uh-huh.
also your ride or die, but they
Oh,
take a
cool.
very long time and they're like very cautious again because they're like
Mm,
very grounding type of signs.
I see.
That it takes a long time for someone to like build up that trust,
Yeah,
or for
that makes
Tauruses to build
sense.
up the trust. So
Yeah.
I think that that makes sense. And then, it makes sense for a Scorpio to have like a Taurus friend because the Taurus can ground a
Hey.
Scorpio. And I think that's why we're friends.
I know, that's why we do this together, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's like it's insane like to be thinking about like, well, would I even date like a Scorpio? Would I date
Mhm.
myself? I don't know if I would date another Scorpio, but I might date myself. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. I get it. It's like, would you, traits and then like the person, right? Like there are like signs and
Yeah,
traits. And I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's probably valid to a point, right? That's why they have all these like, I don't know, like studies, astrology studies and zodiac
Yeah,
studies.
right, right. There has to be like some kind of truth to it, but at the same
Right.
time, everyone's very different. And
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
experiences definitely mold who you are.
Hmm.
So considering all that, I don't know. I want to say yeah. I
Okay.
think now I'm not quite sure. Initially, I was like, yeah, I would.
Okay, so what is it about like you, I guess, like if you were to date yourself, right? What is it about you that like you don't think you would want to date?
You know what? That's a really good question. I would say a couple things. I actually really value my alone time
Mm,
and I need to recharge, right? Like as extroverted as I am, I need that me time no matter what. And
okay.
so sometimes, when people ask to hang out, I'll just be like, yo, I can't because I need that time myself. And I
Okay.
don't know if I were to date somebody like that, I think I would understand it. But at the same time, I'm also the type of, I guess, Scorpio or person, I don't know, person that likes to spend a lot of time with the people that I like. Right.
Okay.
So it's a little complicated there. So I think that might be something
Hmm.
that would be a little, interesting to juggle.
Hmm.
Um, there's that. And then I think like if somebody gives me a reason to distrust them, it's really hard for me to trust them again. Like I will try my
Mm.
best to trust them.
Yeah.
And, after the whole talk and, we try to forgive and do all the hippy dippy shit, which is very important in a relationship. I get it. But like
Yes.
at the same time, it's like, you forgive, but I can't forget. And therefore it is hard for me to like fully build up that trust with someone
Mm.
unless they put in like 200% effort to build that trust again.
Mm. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they have to like work really hard. And
Yeah.
not
And
everyone's
then
able to put in that kind of effort.
yeah, exactly. I mean, can you imagine if I fucked up and like, I
Yeah.
was dating myself? It's like, man, I don't need like I know how to make it up to you, but shit, man, I'm gonna be on my toes all the time.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I might feel that way. So I'm
Nice.
like,
Mm.
Yeah. What about you?
Reasons why I would not want to date myself. Okay, so I think I already talked
Yeah.
about the stubbornness thing, but I think the other one is and I don't know if this is like a Taurus specific thing, but or it's just like a me thing. But I
Mhm.
think I've told you you know, whenever we chat, I'm like, you know, lately at work it's been a little like slower.
Uh-huh.
And when it's like a little bit slower at work, like it's very easy for me to get like demotivated, but for
Yeah.
me, like, work is what drives me, which is a very weird thing to say. Like,
Girl,
I love
what?
having work to do. I love being super busy. I thrive with
Mhm.
like a lot of stress. So
Oh my God.
I know
Girl, you were
it's
made for
probably not healthy.
capitalism.
I think so. I think so. Um,
Yeah.
so I can only imagine like how difficult it is for me to like pull away from my job. So if I'm
Ah.
dating someone who's like exactly like me, it's I don't know, we would just be like working together all the time.
And you wouldn't even talk to each other. And then, like, you just wouldn't say anything. And then you'd grow distant. And yet, like, you're still quote unquote together.
Yeah, yeah, like for me, like I'm someone who if I'm committing to something, like
Yeah.
if I want to commit to like I don't know, one thing, I put a lot of effort in that one thing to like
Mm-hmm.
perfect my craft, right?
Okay.
So, and then especially if I see it being like actually fruitful, like if I see something from it, then I want to like keep doing it and make it better. And I'm
Yes.
someone who like will poke at it until I feel like it's perfect. Um,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, yeah, we'll probably just be like not really together. We'll just be working all the time. So that's probably not
Basically
healthy
just,
either.
yeah, basically just coworkers, right?
Exactly, exactly. So that's probably not great either. So I probably need someone to like pull me out of that every now and then.
Okay, okay. So you really wouldn't date yourself at all. Like it seems like you're set on that.
I don't think so. No. No. I'm trying to think of
Okay.
like reasons why I maybe, but
But I feel like the other side is that, like, if, for example, you were dating somebody just like you, right?
mhm.
And or yourself, right? Then you know those traits of yours. And so if you did something like that, wouldn't you work harder to kind of understand the other person and like you would know how to recuperate from that, I guess, shitty situation,
I
right?
guess yeah, I think so. Cause I think another one of like our signs is like as a Taurus women, I guess, we're very like loving and like
Oh,
matronly, I guess, like very motherly. So
okay.
I want to nurture that relationship. So maybe yeah, if but then I would have to do all the work, you know?
But would you be doing all the work or would they be doing all the work? Maybe both of you,
Yeah,
because
maybe
you could
both
be
of
dating
us, yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
For someone who says that they don't know much about like astrology, you seem to know a lot.
I know a lot about my astrology or my
Oh,
zodiac
okay.
sign. Because they're fun to read.
They are fun to read, right? So I'm like, I don't know if I would date another Scorpio. I've like thought about that and I've done that. So I'm like, I don't know
Hmm.
about that. But in terms of what I date myself, I think I'm a great ass person. The fuck?
Put it out there. Put out your love resume out there.
Hell yeah, you gotta love yourself, right? You
Yeah,
gotta like actually embrace yourself and like know your flaws and still like embrace that shit and work
true,
on
true.
it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm an amazing person. So yeah, I would date myself, but I would have a
Mm.
really hard time doing it.
I feel like that for everyone because like I just feel like in a relationship you just need like something else to balance you.
Yes. Yeah.
That you know, if you just date the exact same person, like I really don't know what that's like.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are pros and cons to it.
Mm.
So I just thought I'd throw the question out there just because, I was curious. I'm like, would I date myself at all? Being single and everything. What am I looking for? It started to get me into this like really reflective mood. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not what TikTok is for, but okay.
But I think it's true, like, because whenever you have like problems, right, with your whether it's
Uh-huh.
like, you know, your romantic relationships or whatever, you're like, why can't
Yeah.
the other person just think like me? So then we just like know
Yeah.
what we're thinking about. So maybe
Right.
that's more of like the you will date yourself, but yeah, I mean still, I think I know myself a little too well to be like, no, I think I need something else.
Like you'd prefer not to.
I think I'd be great though. Like I love myself, but I
Uh-huh.
think I know myself enough that I wouldn't want to date myself. I'd be
Yeah.
really good friends with myself.
Yeah. 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 I could see that. I could see that. I'm here like, you know what? Shit, I wouldn't mind having a partner just like me.
Mm, mm.
We'll see. We'll see. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But
So on top of what we're manifesting for you, we're now
uh-huh.
manifesting like a Scorpio version out there too, or like a you version.
I think more of a you version, maybe not
Okay,
like so
okay,
much
okay.
of a Scorpio version because, all Scorpios are very different, but maybe more of a me
True.
version, but a little bit more toned down, because I could be a lot sometimes.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
someone to ground you, like a Taurus.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah. Well, let me know. Let us know about how your, dating life and things are going because we want to see where this goes.
Well, you know what? We're still in the middle of a pandemic, so
I know.
non-existent, but okay.
I know. I know. I can't wait until we can finally say we're like no longer in a pandemic, whatever that is.
Whenever that may be,
Yeah.
we'll see.
But for
But
now, I think we've both concluded, or I've concluded that I wouldn't date myself. You've concluded that you would date yourself,
I
but
just
maybe like a
might.
toned down version of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I just might. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. If anything, it would just be a lot of fun. I think dating me because we know how we'll have fun. So
I think so too.
anyway, so please let us know for any of you guys who are like super into astrology because I feel like neither of us are super super into astrology.
No.
We just know like what our signs are and obviously like some common traits about our signs. But if
Yeah,
any of
just a
you
little
guys are
bit.
super into like astrology, I'm kind of curious if you guys picked your partners actually based off of their sign. Like if you rule out partners based off
Ooh,
of their sign and then for those of you guys who are super into it, that those signs actually work out, like those
Ooh,
compatible signs.
yeah.
Because I'm really
Yeah,
curious.
yeah.
Like I'm sure there's some truth to it, but I'm curious.
No, absolutely. I know some people who have picked partners based off of their signs. So I know it happens, but if it happened to you, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And that's everything we have for you guys this week. We will see you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.